time I visited hospitals when I got a lot of distress calls from my voters in Gathoni. I decided to just go to the hospitals and get to see what's going on. And I was referred to one hospital here in Nairobi by my voter who was stranded in that hospital. So I went to that hospital and I went to other 4 hospitals. I went to a government hospital, a referral hospital. I went to a dispensary. I went to a mission hospital level 4. And I can tell you there is a big, big problem. I want to use an example of the mission hospital that I visited. The mission hospital that I visited told me they are owed 233 million by NHIF. They have had very serious negotiations with NHIF on how that debt is going to be paid. They were promised they will be paid 2 million every month, but they only receives 230,000 every month. From the 2 million promise to 230,000. So they were asking me, if we are receiving 230,000 per month, and we are told that we are going to be receiving 2 million, and we are owed 233 million, how long?
How many years?
How many years are we going to wait for NHIF debt to be paid before we actually get on track on the new SHA system? And the Bible says in the book of 1 Timothy 5, verses 1, that do not rebuke the elders. Rather, if they are going off key or they are going out of the way, try and appeal to them, but do not rebuke. That's what the Bible says. In the book of Numbers 12, verses 8 to 9, says that you should not speak against God's servants, because the wrath of speaking against God's servants might be a whip to you. It's not my voice, that is the Bible's voice. My voice. The church interacts with the people more oftenly than any other person in this country. The church does the highest level of public participation on matters pertaining livelihoods. And the first time when the president talked about the Catholic Church during the Tangaza graduation ceremony, I felt like the president should have probably maybe used that opportunity to probe further, to get to know what are the issues. I would have loved to see him sit on the side with the bishops and ask them, what is this that you're complaining about CBC? What is this that you're complaining about SHA and Shif? But using the podium to look like you're rebuking them or reprimanding them, or kind of giving them a lecture, that didn't look very well. And people are not happy. The church is not happy. Not only the Catholic bishop. Yesterday we saw the PCA church. There was a reverend who pronounced himself very strongly in Kahawasukari yesterday. There's another reverend who pronounced himself from the ACK church in the Rift Valley yesterday. So this is something that is not only touching the Catholics because they run schools and hospitals, but this is a matter of every other Kenyan. The Catholic bishop are just a mirror that has reflected what is going on to the ruling class, because the voices of the ruled are somehow being muzzled. Kenyans are being silenced from speaking, and that is why the church is taking over.
You know, I know that my colleague, Honorable Wamushomba, said that I should not rebuke church leaders and that I cannot go against the servants of God. I want to confirm that I did not rebuke them. Neither did I go against them. In fact, if you had listened to my opening statement, I said I was pained. As a child who grew up in the Catholic Church, I am a Loreto girl. I went to Loreto Convent Matunda in Moy's Bridge, Wasingishu. My life has been molded by the Catholic Church. But I said it pained me that they would go and make a press conference. And I said, these are church leaders who have an open door to State House whenever they want. I said they will get an appointment with the president ahead of me and many other leaders. They will always have an open door. So what I requested, if they really want to resolve the problem, because this is the church is not supposed to be selling doom and telling everybody that things are crumbling and there is anxiety. You know, the church is supposed to sell hope and hold our faith That is how we are faithful, because it is hope. The whole entire Bible.
So when you
no,
say
hold
that,
on, let me finish.
Yeah.
So, what I was saying is that if they really want to resolve the problem,
right.
And like we said, 48% of healthcare in Kenya is actually from faith-based churches,
right,
and private. And usually, they are big stakeholders. So if they have a problem with Shif or Shah, what they should do is seek an appointment with the head of state and say, this is what we see is going wrong. These are our proposed solutions. And this is where we can help in trying to resolve it. That is what the church is supposed to do. They're not just supposed to come and cry and say things are bad and everything is going wrong without giving us a solution. We are looking upon them. They are our spiritual fathers and mothers.
They are not in government, Mheshimiwa Speaker.
Sorry?
They are not in government. I mean, they are no obligation to speak to the president at State House.
No, let me tell you, even when I see something going wrong, I don't go and make a press conference about it because I have access to the president. That's what I'm saying.
It is okay, you can have difference of opinion on how to approach issues, but is there anything wrong in the church bishops coming together to give a press statement of what they think is the state of the nation? From
listening to their statement, they simply used very lofty words, anxiety. If they were crumbling education. They just used very big words.
Is there a problem in the education sector?
No, I want them to say, they should have been more specific. They should just say, the challenge is A, B, C, D, and these are the solutions that we think we should be proposing. But don't just say anxiety, crumbling, failure, odd billions.
Deputy Speaker, I thought they were very particular. Violation, human rights and freedom of speech, abductions, talking about the situation of the June 25th and events after that. They're talking about culture of lies, NHF, and kept promises and misplaced priorities. They have gone into the detail to say that...
Those are not specifics. Those are just English words.
I'm saying when the government fails to fulfill...
They are descriptive words. They are not
I just want to read
specific.
Your paragraph. When the government fails to fulfill its promises, particularly concerning payments to essential service providers, it harms vulnerable communities. This is the case with NHIF. The neglect of faith-based organizations, hospitals, now owed billions in dues, is an issue we have addressed constantly, even with the president. And you're saying that they should have gone to speak to the president at State House.
Yes, and also, by the way, good manners and proper ethics is if I've had a conversation with the head of state over a problem, I then don't go in public and announce it. First of all, that's just bad manners.
How about
it's unprofessional. But hold on. What I also wanted them to say is that the government has acknowledged, even in parliament, saying if you're truthful, acknowledge that something has been done, and then say, but this is the shortfall.
You know, the interesting bit is that you're saying they should have gone to speak to the president. They are saying they have spoken to him and there has been no solution.
Okay, let's assume that they don't want to speak to the president anymore because they're not getting any solutions. Then I'm saying, then they should have been factual and confirmed that we raised the issue of non-payment. The total amount is this. And so far, so much has been paid. And we are still requesting for the balance to be paid. That is factual.
Are they owed money?
Now that the bishops are speaking, and they had already discussed with the president on how they are going to be paid or their bills are going to be taken care of, why are they annoyed and why are they going to the press? Why are they calling a statement? Why are they signing a statement? Does it mean that there is some break of communication between themselves and the presidency? Or does it mean that whatever they were promised was not fulfilled? And I think my sister Gladys would have told us here, other than just rebuking the bishops, although she said she's not rebuked them, I thought it was easier for her as a senior member of parliament, you know, somebody who speaks and looks like speaks for the government, to tell us, why are these bishops complaining? Could there be maybe some pending bills that have taken quite some time?
There are pending bills.
And could they be getting frustrated?
Right.
And if they are getting frustrated, what is the best way? How is what strategy should we adopt so that this annoyance, this anger, does not continue building? Because I can obviously see the bishop's tone was not a good tone. Right. They looked like they were frustrated. You know, using words like lies. You know, they said lies. They used, you know, they used words that, to me, indicated that there was a little bit of anger. And now they were telling me the problem they have now is that before they treat any patient or attend to any patient, they must get something they are calling pre-authorization. The communication between the hospital and the SHA system, the Shif system, for them to be allowed to, or rather let me use the word they're using, the technical word, for them to get the authorization, it is taking them approximately 3 hours for one patient. So the queues that I found...
For all the procedures or even...
I went to the dialysis center.
Okay.
I did not go to any other, but I went to dialysis because that's where the problem, the biggest problem was. And they were telling me that kind of delay of getting 2 hours, 3 hours to get one patient pre-authorized, and the system keeps on dropping. I was actually there at the system. I sat there. I even have my videos here. I sat there and I checked how the communication was going. The delays and the system kept on, dropping. It will drop for about 30 minutes, it will come back, it will clear one person and then drops again. It's just a mess.